You're looking live inside the Sportsplex here in Windsor, Ontario. OCAA Women's Basketball. Welcome everyone to Windsor, Ontario for tonight's coverage of OCAA Women's Basketball. The championships continue with the second of two semifinals here in Windsor. My name is Justin Prince, alongside me is Jimmy Parsons, as it's time to see which team will join St. Clair in the gold medal matchup. It's Niagara, it's Humber here on We Digital. Two strong teams taking each other on. Humber, the second of two undefeated teams in the OCAA this season. Niagara, in turn, strong in their own regard. They battle with St. Clair for that top spot in the West Division.
Absolutely. This is going to be between the two teams, one loss. So I believe 17 wins. So this is going to be a defensive battle here tonight. And may the best team win. And St. Clair, they'll be playing St. Clair in the final for the gold medal.
Let's take a look at the starters first of all, because some star-studded rosters here, starting with Jamira Rosso, starting alongside Jani Harrison, joined alongside by Tyron Holtink. Then it's Lexus Bell. Rounding out the five will be Tyron Mitchell for the night. When it comes to Humber's lineup, they'll be starting with the point guard and Brittany English. Then it is Julian and Tupano who will be amongst those starting groups. Then you have Nikki Lagan, who is also in the grouping. Then one of the top players in the OCAA this year in Mia Campbell-Johnson. Rounding the starting five is Sarah Bapti. That's a look top to bottom at the rosters starting off here tonight. It should be an intriguing game, to say the very least, because you have Niagara with just the one loss, as you mentioned. They've had star-studded talent, including the coach of the year for this year for the OCAA, and Christopher Rayo. Compare that to Humber's side. They have the player of the year, the defensive player of the year, one of the top overall players in all the country on top of things, as a CCAA nominee in Campbell as well, coming in the way in Campbell-Johnson.
Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing Campbell-Johnson out here on the floor today against Niagara's defense. Both teams, like I said, are going to run and gun and for sure have some fun in tonight's matchup. I'm very excited to see this matchup today.
Tonight's officials, Troy Bennett, Tommy Wu, along with Nikisha Miller, as we're just about all set to go here on We Digital. The second of two semifinals in the Rose City to see who will battle for a gold medal tomorrow. Both coaching staffs all set. We're underway from Windsor. Niagara wins the opening tip. They'll be wearing their blue jerseys tonight. Humber in the white. Starting off in the low post, the spins. Back and forth, no good. Second chance picked up by Harrison. Moved outside again for Bell. For the jump shot, Holtink. Gets rejected, knocked out of bounds by Campbell-Johnson.
Right away, the defensive presence by Humber College got the clock down to only 5 seconds for Niagara to make something work.
5 on that shot clock indeed. Inbounding baseline, quick jump shot, no good. Rebound nearly picked up again by Niagara. Picked up instead by the Humber Hawks, their first offensive set. English leads it up. The fourth-year player from Toronto starts the scoring.
It's always easiest to go inside out, so drive into the basket, get that first one, get a good feel for the game.
Niagara, meanwhile, looking to respond to their score sheet. Bell, baseline drive, way off. Picked up inside by Humber, nearly reached from behind. Moved on up this time by the Hawks for the drive. Whistle before the shot. Count the basket. This time, the personal going against Niagara to start things off for Mitchell. And a chance to shoot one.
And like we talked about from the start there, drive into the basket, get that and one. A quick 4 points for Humber, and I assume if she makes this bucket, they'll be putting a press on.
Here's a look at Campbell-Johnson's stats. 23.6 points per game. What's the top, not the top, of the OCAA this year, scoring-wise, as the press breaks out. Quickly broken with the trap. Now here comes Niagara. Going for the cut in. The bobble, the steal. Campbell-Johnson there to pick it up off the Swan. Moved over to Campbell Johnson. Wide open for three. No. Rebounded off the bounce this time by Bell. Slowing things on down, Holtink. About 90 seconds in the first quarter of play here on We Digital. The cut inside. It's good for Bell.
Good drive to the basket, but Humber's transition is looking good and quick.
And losing the ball is Humber indeed from it. Mitchell calling for some motion. Bell waits as the paint opens up inside. Outside Mitchell elects to just put it up for three. No good. Rebounded on a baseline though by Russo. Moved out to the low post now. Holtink, spin in. No. Campbell Johnson again for the rebound. 5-2 to start off for Humber on the scoreboard. Here in the second of two OCAA Women's Basketball Semifinals for 2022. Move down for the pass. It's good again for English. Brittany English putting a little English on the drive. And a whistle up the floor. Reach in for the first time for Humber.
Yeah, Humber's trying to put a little pressure on the ball here. Got a little excited and a quick foul.
Let's take a look at Harrison's stat lines. 13.9 points per game, entering tonight 111 points in the regular season for the Niagara Knights this campaign. Leading the way for her team in that regard. Russo, keep in mind, also strong scoring at 12 points per game. Niagara not strong enough for the jump shot. Rebound picked up again by the Knights. Second chance off. Tapped out by Humber. Picking up the tempo, getting space again. English the pass. Campbell Johnson the drive. Campbell Johnson again. 9-2 run for the Humber Hawks. Chris Borrell already making quick adjustments. Niagara cuts in. Bounces in. Russo. Just past 3 minutes into the first. Campbell Johnson. Hands back. Looking to drive in Humber. The bounce. The pass. No. English missing inside. Back the other direction. And first substitution coming in on the night as a result will be for Niagara as they bring in Jessica Malixi.
And as you see, Niagara trying to put pressure on number 13, Campbell Johnson, which frees up English for a few easy buckets and easy attempts.
Trail brought up the court, this time by Humber as they look to defend with Watt. Slowing, sizing, Bell to the outside. The three drops. Harrison. And after starting off cold, Niagara is starting to drain buckets. Back-to-back makes. Single possession game, approaching the midway portion of the first quarter. Response by Humber falls.
You know, just sharing the basketball is going to be key in this game along with the defense, but the assist, I'll be interested to see the assist numbers here.
Rejected meanwhile down low by Campbell Johnson. Here comes Humber. Move back outside again. Yelegan. Pass to the corner, out of bounds. Inbound, coming from the side. 12-6 the score.
I like the up-tempo start here to the game. If you look here, Campbell Johnson gets that block, and out goes Humber on the break right away.
There's a reason she's the Defensive Player of the Year, right? With those 17.6 rebounds per game and half a block per game plus.
That is
bucket good.
That is crazy, and that's why she's an All-Canadian. Great player.
Indeed, a stellar player for this group is that one deflected about. Niagara keeps it alive. 16 on the shot clock. Poke loose again. Kept alive as they roll it to the three-point line. Russo battles for the ball, and reach is called as that will save the possession. Watt, the reach. And that just, again, emphasized what you were just mentioning defensively.
Yes, the defense, both teams are on it here, and it's a great start to this game.
Russo inbounding from the side. Russo cuts around the outside, moved once again for Bell. Back to Bell, forces the pump, The jump. The three. Yes.
Nice step back there. Nice step back. Nice shot.
First-year player from St. Catharines continues. Help this scoring go back and forth now. Just past halfway to the first quarter here on We Digital. Back for the jump shot. Campbell Johnson again.
She loves that little jumper from the elbow.
46% from the field of the regular season, by the way. Wide open for three. It's good again. Malixie this time. Christopher Rail absolutely pumped his team within 4. Campbell Johnson, pressure from the top, one-footed pass. We're back along again by Humber for the size up. 7 on the shot clock. Watt gets some space for the cut.
Good dribble penetration to that Euro step and easy basket.
Watt again showing that experience. Humber has contact off ball. Defensive whistle. Second whistle against Baptiste. As you see some of the fans who have made their way from the Niagara region, they'll now see one of the substitutions come on in Jessica Bosma. Last play.
Yes, the last play there is that Euro step. Niagara didn't collapse the defense, and she was able to get to the bucket.
That gave Humber again a 6-point lead. Knocked it out of bounds, that time off English. And we mentioned, of course, the success with Christopher Rail in his 3rd season of coaching for the program. How about 10 years for AJ Sharma and this Humber program, as they'll just watch it go out of bounds. Coach Sharma, a well-regarded coach in his own right in the OCAA.
Yes, absolutely. When I was here with the women's team back in 2010, I believe, just a couple years ago, Justin.
Yeah.
Coach was there.
Meanwhile, Campbell Johnson helps swing it around the outside. Campbell Johnson tries to open up inside. The drive rejected out. That time knocked out of bounds. The drive by Yasmin Apti. 10 still on the shot clock.
Niagara on the floor, making those adjustments, kind of clogging the floor and not allowing Humber to penetrate.
Too strong on the jump shot, meanwhile, for English. Under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter now. Humber up 18-12. Again, Niagara trying to communicate. Plenty on this set. Outside. Holting forcing players to jump. Drives it in. 3 different Hawks jumping up on that play. Here comes the Hawks. Stolen away by Niagara, but straight out of bounds as nearly saying hello goes Bell. Their substitution coming in now for Humber. Baptiste, after the 2 personals, is coming in again. So let's take a look at the previous opportunity. There's one pump, the reach. Nearly a second jump there.
Yes.
Campbell Johnson looking to make players jump as she goes for the jumper. No. Baptiste right there for the jump ball on a sea of blue. Possession arrow still Humber.
Yeah, you said it, Justin. The sea of blue now. Niagara, like I said, has made that adjustment and starting to clog the floor, and everybody's going for rebounds here on Niagara.
Niagara's been controlling the offensive glass, too, keep in mind. Outside, the 3 drops again. By Lagan.
That's the one thing, when you clog the key, that leaves the 3-point shot open.
Meanwhile, the trap left a player wide open to get across the timeline, and Holtink. Niagara now sets up their own set. Russo moves the lawn up back around for Holtink. Holtink, hard screen, offensive foul. Bosma.
Bosma came up a little late on that screen. Great idea, but a little late. Got caught with the offensive foul.
Second personal for Niagara as a team. 3 so far for Humber. 7-point lead still for the Hawks. Looking for the movement once again is Humber. And a bit of a push and a bit of a whistle. This time it goes against Dene Campana, third-year player from Toronto. And I was mentioning the experience for Humber, rather should flip that around, in that whistle then going to bell. Humber with several upperclassmen for this team. For three, no. Campbell Johnson, the spin, nearly bounces in. Niagara keeps it alive for themselves now. Approaching 2 minutes to go, stolen away by Humber. Driving up, they have numbers. Campbell Johnson draws contact. She'll go to the line to shoot for two.
As Campbell Johnson gets that ball, you see she likes that spin from her right to her left, and is able to get contact and get to the line for two.
You see the reach has come on in, indeed. But was about to say, when it comes to Humber, with this season for many teams, they have plenty of first and second year eligible teams, of course, with 2020 happening. But when it comes to Humber, they've got 2 fifth-year eligible players. English is a fourth-year eligible. They have another couple on the bench as third-year eligibles, and another fourth-year player on the bench as well. Plenty of experience for Humber, some of the most experienced as a group this season.
Yes, absolutely. One of the most experienced teams out there, and that leaves Humber, obviously the record shows for it.
Yeah. One of the first-year players from Brantford, Ontario, and Danelle Romani coming on in. But those free throws, 9 points up now are the Hawks with 2 minutes to play in the first. Niagara working things around the outside. For three, front rim. Rebound, picked up after a collision by Humber. Coach Sharma makes the call. English forwards the call. Over to Campbell Johnson again. Campbell Johnson tries to pass it around a player, instead hits off the hip. English resets it with 10 on the shot clock. Campbell Johnson comes for the help. English doesn't wait for it, gets knocked out of bounds. 5 on the shot clock. And absolutely smothered there were the Hawks.
Niagara's doing a good job in continuing with this defensive set here.
Minute 25 to go in the quarter now. English to Campbell Johnson. Forces the pump, the drive, the float, the bucket. And Campbell Johnson yet again goes to work, a quick bucket in response down under the cup. Wow.
Out of nowhere, Humber puts on that press and is able to get a steal.
Here comes Niagara, now down double digits with that sequence. 13 points up is Humber. Miss. Campbell Johnson with a rebound again. English helping forward it again for three again. Yes. Weilagan again.
And you see right away they put that press on, and it stymies Niagara. They're not ready for it.
Now Weilagan 3 triples, 11 points now. Campbell Johnson 10 points. A couple blocks that time. Can't get the miss forced. Bucket good in the low post by Niagara from Holtink. Moved around over to English. Moves up for 3. Doesn't drop this time. Squeezed out of bounds. Niagara touches it last. And keep in mind, when it comes to the first and second year player teams members, 2 for each division, you have English, who made the first team this year, as well as Wattis on top of Campbell Johnson. Baptiste, one of the all rookies for the West, for the East rather. Jump shot goes out of bounds. No good from Baptiste on cue.
Yes, you're right. This year, Humber went over to the East Division.
Yes.
So a little bit different style here with COVID, getting back to normal.
And compare that to Niagara, who, of course, was in the West. 2 all-rookie team members, Russo and Harrison, who also made the first team, and then Holtzing, second team. Shot clock is off, going straight to the cup. Here comes Humber. Chance for the final shot of the quarter. Baptiste outside, another 3. Off the back rim. And after 1 quarter of play, the Humber Hawks are soaring away and ahead. Up 14 after 10 minutes of play. You're watching We Digital for coverage of the OCAA Women's Basketball Semifinals here from Windsor.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is, put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Looking at the huddle for Christopher Rayo as he tries to coach things up. UC Humber had a good chance at the end of the quarter, and they were able to drain plenty of triples in that type of a sequence.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you look at that replay there and you see Niagara, they did make an adjustment after a stoppage where they're able to start going after and blocking out. And a few of those shots there, you got to make sure you're blocking out the opponent.
Let's take a look at some of the men's scores. They just announced this over the PA as well. 18-7 run to start for the Saints over Redeemer as they look for their first gold medal since 1968.
Yes. That is excellent. Good for Coach Segan and the boys up there at Humber. Humber is hosting, and hopefully, they're playing for something as well tomorrow, whether it is gold or bronze, but hopefully it is gold.
And Humber's not going to be an easy matchup. They've been stellar on the men's side all season. Remember, all four teams on the men's side, West Division opponents. Take a look at some of the faithful making the way from the GTA area to cheer on the Hawks as they look to add to their prestigious dynasty. So we're back underway for the second quarter.
Welcome to Windsor, Essex.
Russo watches things about as it's passed around the outside by Niagara. They set things up with Mitchell. Now with it is Mia Wayne. Backing up is Holting. Russo wanted it in the corner, instead driven inside by Holting. Holting as that draws the whistle. Reach from behind. The push. Holting. One for Holting as you see Campbell Johnson picking up the board once again. She starts on the floor for the quarter alongside English. Also up T. Rounding out the five for this respective grouping. Watt working with Wylagan. Moved around the outside by Baptiste to Wylagan. Multiple triples that first quarter. Rejected inside as Wylagan. Here comes Niagara. Inside, no good. English again with another rebound on the miss. Keep in mind, both teams shot fairly well from the field in that first quarter. Jump shot, good. Campbell Johnson, she's got 12 this game already.
12 points already for an OCAA All-Star and All-Canadian.
Talked about those accolades. Being the top player in the league this year. She watches the rejection from her teammate. Watt leads it up. Coast to coast.
A little rough finish, but hey, as long as it goes in, it counts.
So far, Humber off to a strong start of the quarter. 4-0 run out of the gate in the first 90 seconds of the frame. Justin Prince, Jimmy Parsons with you here on We Digital for the second semifinal. The OCAA Women's Basketball Championships of 2022. Niagara, after multiple misses, puts it in, and that's been one of the positives for them.
Yes, absolutely. Holtank is able to make that after a little quick steal/rebound there.
Nearly stolen away on the pass to Campbell Johnson, meanwhile. Watt recovers from that by missing the layup. Again, picked up inside the midst of traffic by Niagara. Moved up by Mitchell. To the edges of the corner, trying to spin their way inside. Back outside, Holting. Bounce pass again. Wayne. The pass to Russo. Russo avoids the jump ball. And now we'll keep possession as that goes out of bounds. Timeout called. Niagara taking their first of this half. As you see the huddle now for Humber's side after what's been, as expected, a strong game for them so far. Offensively, 89.6 points per game in the regular season. Compare that to Christopher Rayo, who, young coach, made his debut a few seasons ago, has really built this program up strong. You see their playoff performances, they dominated both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell that Coach Rail's been doing a great job over there in Niagara. And as you said, the points per game, the three-pointers, the rebounds. Rebounds and assists are going to be key. And also with Niagara, bench points. So you could tell 68 bench points that they get some production off the bench, which is always good.
And Chris Barrera, as mentioned, came a long way. Remember his first season, his first appearance here, came in a full suit in his debut in Windsor. And now going with the pole shirt look here for this one.
Yeah, you see that with a lot of teams now, and at every level. Everybody's more casual. Gone are the way of suits. Hopefully they come back. I like the suit look.
We're wearing suits.
We're wearing suits. Gives us an opportunity to dress up for the night, you know?
I get what you mean.
And watch some basketball.
34-18, Humber the score. 7:37 should say, in this second quarter to go. Niagara draws the kickball violation. And quickly, in terms of those discussion points, Niagara about 37% for the field in the first quarter, 54% in that quarter so far. Both teams seen that field goal percentage drop a bit. Russo can't get that one to drop. It bounces off a couple nights and out. Just 2 points so far for Niagara in the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds or so of the quarter, though.
But they've had a few misses.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you capitalize on that. Because Humber, if you miss, they are going to capitalize on it. Watch this form. That's right.
For reference, the ball got deflected out of bounds right to Coach Parsons, who one-handed gave it back to the official.
Jump shot style.
Yes. As that's out of bounds, not able to stay in bounds, is walked.
And the ref said I had good shooting for him, so that's good.
Sometimes it's good to have that camaraderie, you know. 7:20 to go in the second quarter. Wayne's played all throughout this frame. Fifth-year eligible player from Taiwan. Launches the jumper. That drop for the first bucket of the quarter for Niagara Harrison. Niagara quickly rushing back the other direction. Campbell Johnson. Thought about the three. Elects to try and go for the moves. The jump shot contested. No. Harrison, another board taken up now by Niagara. Bullet pass down towards the baseline. The spin, too strong. Second chance again is good. Molly Taylor. First-year player from Niagara Falls. Trims the gap down to 12. Moving around the outside wing. Bapti. Cuts it in the key. Draws the whistle. At the bottom of the stanchion, 2 free throws. The vicinity that time is Taylor, the 5'11" forward. More substitutions coming on in as Wylegan will come back on in for some subs. They'll take out on Apti. For Kentucky on free throw shooting, 71% as a team was Humber this year. When it came to the shooting from Bapti, 83.3%, a very solid free throw shooter.
Yes, you know, those are free points. Nobody's guarding you. The line doesn't move. You got to make sure you're making those shots.
Average 29 minutes per game, too. Those marks, 6.8 rebounds per game. The rookie campaign, 3.7 assists. Back up to a 14-point advantage here at Windsor. Sizing things on up again is Niagara. Bounce pass again. Russo looking to find a way in. Can't get it to Rowan. Does get it to drop in.
Good move coming off the screen there to find her way to the bucket.
What was that about, trying to find your way around these rims?
That's right. Hey, you got to keep shooting. It's eventually going to go in.
A few rolls this quarter alone. Bapti tries to find a way to keep Humber on a roll, trying to keep it in down the baseline of the Hawks. They bounce it off a night. Humber ball. Smart play by English. 3 on the shot clock still, and they will hold things as English's shoelace came untied from the tippy-toe attempt. And you see how much Chris Rayo is trying to adjust things, knowing what may happen here. over top the defense. Baptiste drives it straight into the defense. 2 free throws coming up. Chris Barrea wanted to charge. So Baptiste to the line for a second time. Bell called for a second personal. And another substitution brings Maliksi back on in.
Looked like some good defense there.
Yeah.
But hey, that's why we play the game and continue on. You get two foul shots.
It's the first one. Does drop again. For the all-rookie player for the West. Off the back rim, English keeps the possession going. English trying to call for movement with Campbell Johnson. Moves up to the 3, gets rejected, tries to get it back. Instead, Niagara gets it. 5:30 to go in the first half of play. The Knights trying to find a way to trim this gap down from 13. Russo passed again to Wayne. Wayne, baseline, back off. Alexi, back over to Russo, again for 3, again too strong. Wayne right there to rip it away. Second chance is good. Harrison.
Good fight on the defensive end. Good
And
turnover.
Transition play thrown away over the head of the Humber Hawks, and the Knights faithful starting to go wild. Humber not going with the trap quite yet. They showed a slight look of it there. 2-3 look for the defensive set off the jump here. Russo calling for movement again. Holtink watches the ball drop. Here comes Humber. English electing to slow this tempo down again. Campbell Johnson, pick and fade. Watt avoids a couple, reaches for the drive.
Good drive, good move to the basket, and excellent finish.
39-26, 4:22 to go in the first half. Wayne, back along the outside, Harrison. Avoids the double team. Sizing things up now. Maliksi. The spin back. Harrison. The contested J. No. Baptiste right there to rebound it. Hands it back off to Watt. Sharmak makes the play call from the sideline. Watt gives it off to Campbell Johnson. Gives it back to Watt. Watt wide open. Another cut for a bucket. Watt with 11.
High screen, pick and roll, handoff. Opens up every time.
Chemistry coming back to play. Baptiste tried to reach into it. Wayne cuts it back left, spins it right, looks to pass it, looks to drive it. No good on the layup. Baptiste turns up the tempo. Back around to Watt. Again, some space, tries to float it, gets rejected by Wayne. Russo kicks it back on up. Stolen back by Wylagan. Humber electing to go with the set play. The give and go again. Wylagan back to Campbell Johnson for 3. Too strong. Still a 15-point lead for the Humber Hawks. 3 minutes to work with in the second quarter. Taylor back around and in.
Nice pump fake there by Taylor. Getting to that left side, using that left hand.
Showing some strong buckets there.
Looks like Niagara's going to get a full slate of subs here.
Niagara bounce the bucket back. Buzzer sounds. Timeout wanted. And they say it was a wrongful buzzer. Humber waved off the call for a timeout wanted. Niagara will not be allowed to put those substitutions in, as that was not a sanctioned stoppage.
No, an inadvertent whistle will get the game back rolling.
So Niagara will keep the current lineup on floor. They wanted to bring in 3 subs. English wanted to rip it away. Instead, slowing it back down, Maliksi. Side Taylor. Likes not to shoot it. Goes for the floater, yes! There's the timeout now. Humber now does want to discuss things.
Yes, good finish there by Taylor. Getting to left again for a second consecutive bucket.
And plenty of notes have to be taken by these coaches at this point, especially with how the rebounds have been faring out. The surprising thing is 3 offensive rebounds were credited to Niagara. They've been very busy on the offensive side with Coach Rayo and his squad.
Yes, when you look at this play here, you see Taylor driving to the basket, getting to that left side, that left hand, and being able to put that up and in. But, you know, you say the hustle plays there on the offensive board, sometimes a lot of them become steals and or team steals, team offensive boards, because the ball is just going, nobody's really getting it. But when you're looking at the total numbers, points per game, 97.5.
For the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. And they defeated Seneca and Mohawk pretty handily to get to this this position. Humber, when you look at numbers too, off the bench, 36 points off the bench, that's very good as well.
That combined in the 2 games, yes. They've had some solid scoring, about 18 points per game off the bench when you average it out. The points off turnovers are the critical part. 61 of those points in those 2 games were from turnovers forced.
Absolutely, and you could tell by the way they kind of sneaky put that press on after, you know, it's not consistent, consistently done, but it's very consistent when they do it.
Yes. Back it away, 43-30 the score, approaching 2 minutes to go in the first half. Watt, English, Campbell Johnson, Baptiste, Weilagan. Humber line many other starters here tonight. Weilagan for 3, can't get it a drop. Second chance, chased down by Baptiste. This time, back over to Watt. Moved over to English. She tries the 3. No good. Campbell Johnson, the bunny, yes.
Campbell Johnson, great offensive board and putback.
Campbell Johnson so far with 14 points this game. No good down low in the first chance. Second chance, no. Third chance, no. Fourth chance draws a whistle. And now Harrison will go to the line to shoot for 2 as the Cup wanted to say no before that trip.
All those attempts, those are easy buckets or easy money. You got to make that.
From within 5 feet.
Absolutely. What's the highest percentage shot in basketball? A dunk.
Yeah.
So if you could dunk it, then dunk it. If not, throw it off the glass and put it in.
So now Niagara to the stripe, as seen earlier tonight, 62% as a group. Free throws, for the most part, have been quiet for them in terms of getting to the line. Harrison is 74% as a player this season from there. Second attempt. Goes to the right. And a signal for the lane.
Lane violation on Niagara.
So with the lane violation, the inbound will come from the side. And another sub. Watt comes back on in. Baptiste will get a breather. Minute 40 to play with. Niagara showing the trap look. Giving a bit of space for the run up. Out of a double team to Watt. She tests out the 3. Just bounces out the side of the rim. Second chance dived on top of. Niagara just avoiding another jump ball. Nearly throws it away. Saves it in. Can't keep it in. And that one going off the hands of McKenna Jackson and out. Take a look at some of the St. Clair Saints players. Watching very attentively at the game via cell phone.
Maybe they're listening, so good job, St. Clair. We'll see you in the championship game tomorrow.
As mentioned, the men's team's also playing right now. That may be what they're looking towards as well. Off the back rim, no good. Niagara rebound. 1 minute to go in the first half of play. Given a lot of space to run, still no good. Another offensive rebound, another block, another offensive rebound. Niagara still trying to find it in. No!
You got great work by Niagara, but you know what? At this point, better defense by Humber and stopping them from scoring.
Chance for a 2-for-1 opportunity. Watt to Campbell Johnson. Stepping back, rolls it in.
Soft rims, that step back for Campbell Johnson gives her 16 points in this half.
One of the main talking points for sure for Dom during halftime coverage. Back and forth. Niagara looking for space. Half a second difference. Shot clock, game clock. Kept alive, Niagara
Another
again.
offensive rebound, yeah.
3 on the shot clock. They have to get it off. Down to 1. They lose track of it way after the buzzer. And this game clock may get set back a few tenths of a second there.
Yeah, I think that was after the buzzer.
By at least a second. And just waiting for the official signal. Niagara's already signaling to go to the locker room here. I don't think they realize they may be half a second here. And we'll see what the officials decide.
That's the quarter.
Looks like it, yes. They've now moved away. No clock reset. That ends the first half. And Humber now gets the signal for that too. They lead either way, 47-31 after 20 minutes of play. You're watching We Digital. Don Papa will be standing by with your halftime coverage. You're watching We Digital from Windsor.
Good evening, sir. Where are you coming from?
I was just at a buddy's watching a game.
Have you consumed any alcohol tonight?
I had a couple beers.
Thanks. Can I ask you to step out of the vehicle, please?
How many drinks does it take to impair your ability to drive safely? Having even just a few casual drinks can impair your driving ability to the point that you could lose your license for at least 3 days or more.
Hi, honey. Can you come pick me up?
Play it safe with alcohol. If you plan on drinking, don't plan on driving.
Very excited and pleased to be joined by the Director of Athletics at Niagara, and also she's the convener of OCAA Women's Basketball. Did I get that all right?
You got all my titles right.
All right, you're a busy lady. Michelle O'Keefe joins us. Thanks for doing this with us, Michelle. And well, first, give me a comment on the game here tonight. It's a pretty good game so far.
You know, I think so. Obviously, the score is favoring Humber, but I think our girls are playing tough. You know, the last few games that they've had at the start of the playoffs haven't been very close, so it's tough to all of a sudden come up against the number one team in the province. So I'm very proud.
They're playing tough for sure. I want to talk to you, Michelle, about your job as the convener of the OCAA Women's Loop. First of all, congratulations, because this was a tough year, no doubt about it. Just the fact that we got a schedule in, the fact that we got back to playing after a long layoff, all of those things. So kudos to you and everybody else that made it happen. How tough was it to get back at it?
You know, while I appreciate your kudos, I think the kudos goes to the coaches and the athletes and the OCAA staff. The OCAA staff have been troopers. The athletes and the coaches have fought through a wonky game schedule. They've had to stay healthy, not only from COVID, but from injuries. I think the shortened season was tough, but, you know, everyone has played so hard. And it is what it is. And challenges were overcome. We had a lot of changes in rosters because people got COVID and they came back. And it's been all over the map. But you know what? It's been a great experience. And we're looking forward to the fall of 2022 where we could actually get back to having a regular season.
Yeah, that would be nice. Although I did enjoy the schedule this year. I mean, it was very tight and compact, but it was fun. Every game had so much meaning in it. But with everything that did happen and you know, finding a way to get back to it, how has that set up the future of OCA? Well, I could ask about OCA sports in general, but let's just concentrate on women's basketball.
You know what? I think what it is, it's allowed us to look outside the box. It's allowed us to look at different schedules, different division lineups, different tournament championship formats. It's allowed us to release the shackles on what has been tradition. Some of the traditions in the OCAA are fantastic, and some of them maybe could use a little shaking up. So I think what getting this season done allowed us to just look at things differently.
And obviously, I mentioned the schedule being so compact and everything. And I talked to some of the athletes through the season and say, boy, it was tough just, having those games so close. And then if you're battling a little bit of an injury bug, things like that, tough to bounce back. But overall, in the games that we've covered here anyways, Michelle, really impressive basketball. Again, that has to make you just so proud to see the quality of play that we're getting.
Without a doubt, I'm a basketball girl. I grew up playing basketball. My whole living has been made in basketball, so I love the quality of these games. I was saying to local Windsor legend Royal Church earlier that I've really started to enjoy the women's game far more than the men's game, because I think the women understand the game a little more. Not to criticize the men's side, because obviously it's a strong product, but sometimes the men just want to jump higher, run faster. And I think the women think the game a little bit more, and I have a full appreciation for that.
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying. I think, each side brings something really unique to the table. Again, we enjoyed covering the men very much here as well, and we're following them tonight as we speak for sure. Where does this all go now, though, Michelle? I mean, are you happy with, one, getting this schedule in this year, but do you see the growth that you want to lead with and go forward, and do you see a lot of new ideas coming from all of this?
I do, and one of the things that we haven't talked about is also the referees. The referees were not on the floor for 2 years, and I know in Ontario a lot of them retired. So I think there's a lot of work that we have to do to recruit some new young athletes in, and I think the graduates from the OUA and the OCAA leagues are great candidates to become referees. So I'm excited to see what that looks like. I'm excited to see how the athletes continue to grow. While they played an awful lot of games in a short period of time, I think a lot of them really improved a ton because there was so many repetitious opportunities.
So now I'll take you to your other job, being the athletic director at Niagara. I love the Niagara area. I've always loved the Niagara area. And your role there and juggling both these jobs, that's got to be quite the workload.
I've got some great help. I actually brought in one of the sport management students to help me with a lot of the data stuff on the women's basketball side. I wear a lot more hats than just those two, so it's even crazier than you can imagine. But I'm excited because I'm in my 4th year at Niagara College now, and there's just so much opportunity. The college environment is so supportive of collaboration and our athletic department and what we're trying to build. So I'm really excited for the future.
Well, they've got a great leader in you, that's for sure, and you've done a great job. Again, kudos to you for getting this thing going this year. Really happy you got St. Clair hosting this Final Four because we love doing it here. But good luck in the future and great success to you, and hope we get to talk again soon.
Right. Thank you so much. And I would like to just reiterate, the OCAA staff has been unbelievable.
Absolutely. Got to have the team, that's for sure. That's Michelle O'Keefe, the convener for the OCAA Women's Basketball Loop. A quick timeout. When we come back, we're going to check in with some of the principals participating in our game. Here it's the Humber Hawks and the Niagara Knights. It's the 2022 OCAA Women's Basketball Final Four on We Digital Productions.
My name is Nicole Pekala. Before I was in the welding program, I was a pet nutritionist at a pet shop for about 3 years. You'll be surprised how great it is to be a woman in the trades because it's such a welcoming community. Every woman that I've met that's in the trades program or has studied within the trades is just so happy to be in it. And why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that everybody else is enjoying and loving themselves?
It's your thoughts about that first half.
Yeah, I mean, we got to play better. They're a good team. They didn't do anything we didn't expect. we need some better possessions out here, one at a time, and we'll take it one possession at a time in the second half.
I want to give your team some credit, though, Coach. A couple of times in that first half, it looked like maybe they're going to break and just fall. They bend, they don't break. I was impressed.
Yeah, no, we didn't come here to break. We're here to compete, and we're going to compete until that final buzzer goes, and whatever happens, happens. But we're going to compete. That's, now, tomorrow, the day after that, we're just going to keep competing. So that doesn't matter.
Good approach, Coach. One last question, Coach. This is obviously a crossover game. You didn't get to see Humber during the regular season. Was it a little bit tougher to set up for this game because you hadn't seen them?
Well, I mean, yes. Like lots of film. Different opponents. The East this year was not as strong. Humber. It's been a while since Humber's been challenged in a game. Credit to them for being ready after the schedule they played, and we didn't affect preparation too much, but other than what we saw in film.
Appreciate your time, Coach. Good luck in the second half. That's Coach Christopher Rayo of the Niagara Knights. Now we're going to be joined by, well, this lady's all world. That's all I can say. She's an outstanding athlete, one of the premier players not only here but all of Canada collegiate basketball. Maya Campbell-Johnson joins us. Thanks for doing this with us, Maya. And quickly tell me about that first half, how you thought your team performed.
I thought we did pretty well. I just think we need to clean up a little more defensively. Like, there's some possessions where we let the other team get more offensive rebounds than they should, but other than that, we did pretty well.
Really impressed with Coach Sharma, how he prepares his team. I mean, Humber has a bullseye in their back every year, every game, and yet your squad comes out and you're just ready. How does that happen?
Honestly, it's all the preparation we do in practice. Like, every practice, we go at each other hard every time. Like, there's no days off. Like, there's really no time off. We just come out, compete as best as we can.
And the goal is simple with this team. It's a gold medal or nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a lot of pressure. That's a high bar to always get after every year. Tell me what makes this team special this year.
Honestly, I think it's the way we all come together. Like, we play really well as a team. We share the ball a lot. It's not one person. It's not one individual. It's all of us. Like, there's not one key player. It's all of us. If there's not one of us, then someone else is picking up the slack for somebody else.
Whenever we hear about Humber this year, anyways, and I've talked to a number of people, and they always say, "Hey, this number 13 on Humber, you must love this game." I mean, you just the way you perform. How do you prepare yourself?
Honestly, I just try not to take any rest days. Get in the gym, work out, eat well, sleep well, and that's it.
You're a great leader for this team, and I'm expecting nothing different in the second half, right?
Hopefully not.
All right, go enjoy it. Congratulations. Good luck. Pretty special player right there, Maya Campbell-Johnson of the Humber Hawks. Her team up right now, 47-31. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll check back in with our play-by-play team, Justin Prince and Jimmy Parsons. They'll have all the action for you. This is the 2022 OCAA Women's Basketball Final Four on We Digital Productions.
been trying to find the answer of can they find a way to close in the 47-31 deficit. Justin Prince, Jimmy Parsons with you as we're just about set to start off the final 20 minutes of regulation here at the Sportsplex in Windsor, Ontario. When you look towards the numbers, Jimmy, so far, Humber looking strong.
Yes, absolutely. You're looking at, when you talk about rebounds, Niagara's winning the rebound war, but they can't seem to finish when it comes to putting it back in. They have 11 offensive boards from the first half, which is dominant, but they struggle when you're talking about field goal percentage. Humber, on the other hand, they've been playing great defense. They get a rebound, they run gun, and they have fun. They're driving to the basket, they're creating contact, and they're also getting to the foul line for those shots. So we're looking for another good solid half from both teams here for the second half, and the winner will take on St. Clair College for the gold medal tomorrow night, right?
Yes, indeed. Remember that, 7:30 for the gold medal, bronze medal 5 p.m. We're underway for the start of the third quarter. Humber immediately drives it in. Campbell Johnson no good. 16 points for Campbell Johnson that first half. 6 rebounds as discussed by Dominic Papa. Campbell Johnson gets the steal. Kicked up over to Weilegan. One of 3 double-digit scores for the Humber Hawks. And that first half, Walt was the other. Campbell Johnson tries the shimmy shake, instead gives it off to Weilegan. Weilegan moves left, passes to the corner for 3. It's good. Bapti with her first made shot from the field. And a quick whistle up the floor and back the other way.
Stepped out of bounds, but that last shot by Humber. Good sharing the basketball, getting that assist, and giving the teammate the opportunity to score.
You mentioned shooting percentages, 41% in the second quarter for Humber alone. They start off hot with an air jumper. English.
And here comes that soft press to try and get Niagara on their toes, and then Humber looking to all rebound.
It's the largest lead of the game so far, 20 points for Humber. Niagara trying to find motion. Russo looking for space. Cuts inside. Weilegan helps deflect it away. Here comes Bapti. Moved up to English again. The bounce to Campbell Johnson. Intercepted by Niagara right on back. Here come the Knights trying to drive into the teeth of the defense. No whistle. Niagara gets the rebound. Moved up to Campbell Johnson. Open in space for the layup.
Good movement by Humber to keep the things, keep it aggressive. And that defense turns into instant offense for Campbell Johnson.
Niagara, meanwhile, still looking for some offense this quarter, nearly losing the ball. And the jump ball whistle. Possession arrow stays Niagara as the Knights making their first substitutions of the quarter. 2 of them, in fact, and that will be Bell back on in, Brain Bosma with her. 8:06 to go in the third quarter of play here. Inbound goes directly down low. Bosma bounces in. And the 4th-year forward for Hamilton. Going to make it wide open. Weilegan can't capitalize for 3. And Humber's tried that a couple times this game.
You're right. The quick transition.
Niagara off the side of the backboard. Meanwhile, tries to get a shot. Instead draws more contact inside with a whistle. This time English caught for the reach. English with her first personal. Not too many fouls, we'll say, this game. That's 4 total personals for Humber. 4 total for Niagara so far tonight. They pass it down to the low post. Fadeaway shot, no. Second chance yet again, no.
Another offensive rebound that Niagara couldn't capitalize on.
Amongst the 8 offensive rebounds in the first, around the second quarter, just 1 dropped. Meanwhile, Baptiste makes that one drop on the Euro.
And that's the problem when you don't make those easy shots after an offensive rebound, hustling and doing that hard work. The other team scores at the other end.
And right on back at the other end, Niagara hustles their way in for the bucket with Holtink. Second of two semifinals for the 2022 OCAA Women's Basketball Championships here on Weed Digital Productions. Campbell Johnson, the bucket again for this quarter so far.
Very consistent from that elbow jump shot.
She has been, especially in her career, as Niagara goes for the backcourt violation. Kenneth Jackson not able to squeeze the ball. She comes right out of the game. Mitchell comes back in. The interesting thing, though, is, you know who was the leading scorer for Niagara the first half? Molly Taylor in 10 minutes played.
Yeah.
With 8 points. To go along with 4 rebounds. Knocked out of bounds. Back the other way that will go. With miscommunication. But you're not going to be able to win a game if you have your main core players 3 for 10, 2 for 7, 2 for 6.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of those are the offensive boards that they weren't able to capitalize on. So
exactly. Taken up now. Niagara tries to find a way to make a shot. They make the shot inside. Mitchell. That reduced the gap back down to 20. Stripped back away by Niagara. Mitchell. Side of the rim, draws a whistle. Baptiste. Baptiste's third. Second team foul for Humber this quarter.
Good defense there by Niagara to get out on the break and hopefully get these two to cut it to 18. Chipping away at this lead.
Mitchell, one of the top free throw shooters this season. Didn't have too many on average. To make that top 20 statistic, you have to have at least 2 attempts to do so per game. But she, when she was there, shot nearly 90%. Misses the second, though. 19-point lead still for Humber as Campbell Johnson keeps it alive for English. Outside, Wylangan for 3. No. The putback is good. Campbell Johnson.
That hustle from Campbell Johnson. Fell out of bounds, got up, got the pass, and put it back in.
Niagara trying to respond back. Keep the teeter-totter around this 19-point mark for some momentum. No good, Urso. Here comes Humber, wide open, English to the cup. And that makes it now 4 of the 5 starters for Humber in double-digit points. 10 points for English. Stolen away by Watt. Watt up the right side, draws contact to the line to shoot 2.
Humber definitely turned on the D at the start of this third quarter, and they keep pressing away.
In the second team West Division player. Caught for her second personal. Back into the game goes Harrison. Coming out will be Bosma.
And you can see Niagara talking about it at half court there is what they're going to do on this next offensive set to try and turn the tables.
Meanwhile, the first drops for Watt, who in the regular season shot about 73% from this mark. A 21-point per game score. That going under the radar with the performances with Campbell Johnson. But has been a big part of their offense for the past few years for this program. 6 rebounds, 7 assists for Humber this year.
Very consistent. And that's Humber. Humber has a great team, very consistent all-around players. And they're a very team-oriented.
Wylangan, meanwhile, strips it away. Bounces its way for the steal by Niagara. Thrown back the other direction. Down low, a big bucket, Harrison. Both teams going back and forth a bit on the board. Just past halfway to the third quarter. Inside, Campbell Johnson to the line to shoot 2. Second team foul now for Niagara this quarter. This time you can credit that towards Harrison. Rather, Holtank will be given the whistle. Now a substitution, and see the bottle of water's coming out.
Both teams running hard here and playing a lot of D. So
was about to say it's almost, I wouldn't say NASCAR style offense in terms of the tempo, but it's kind of towards that gearing.
I would definitely agree. This is a very up-tempo game. We're already at 64 for Humber, 40 for Niagara.
And Campbell Johnson makes the second. She has a game-high 24 points. Bosma coming back on in for Mitchell now. And she'll be able to join the bottle of water. Full court inbound just about for the drive inside. Bounces in. Bell taking advantage.
Looking like Tom Brady on that pass.
Very topical, to say the least.
Or should I say Matt Stafford? One of the two.
Well, Tom Brady unretired. Meanwhile, Humber doesn't drop the bucket. Down low, Campbell Johnson, the bunny, put back in, count it.
Great offensive rebound, great putback. Not much Niagara could do on that one.
Holtink with an error personal. She's been credited to 3 personals. Bell's got 3 as well. As now, Campbell Johnson to complete the N1. 11 points. Now this third quarter.
27 total.
Meanwhile, bouncing around Rousseau for the jump shot, foot on the line, no good. Campbell Johnson can't get the second chance yet. Here comes the rebound again by Humber on the miss. Niagara making contact with each other up the floor there. Moved around once again. For the drive, Watt, the bounce. The shimmy, but it's a travel. Amati trying to pivot with the foot for the drive-in.
Yeah, you only get 1 pivot foot, not 2.
Yes, indeed. With 3:42 to go now in the third quarter, Humber still holding on 68-42. Niagara inbound from the side. Can almost feel the tension starting to build. Keep in mind when it comes to Niagara's program, they last won bronze in 2018-19, start off the Rayo era. The last time they've won a gold as a program, 1970. No good from 3. Moved up for Campbell Johnson. Campbell Johnson, offensive foul. Her first personal of the night. And Niagara gets the ball back. 3 team fouls per side now in the quarter. Let's take a look.
As you go there, the feet were set.
Indeed.
And a lot of contact on that play, initiated by Campbell Johnson.
Up top, Niagara. The cut inside. Passes out of trouble. The jump shot, good from outside. For 3, Harrison.
Nice drive and nice dish. Harrison with the finish.
That teeter-totter has been extending around more so the 19 to 25-point range, round to the 19-21 range. 8 on the shot clock. No good for 3. Campbell Johnson again, the rebound. Draws more contact and draws more free throws.
Yeah, on that one, I think Niagara was caught looking there. Didn't get a body on Campbell Johnson, as you see here. 4 Niagara players down low, and they had the opportunity to come up and hit Campbell Johnson.
Holtink now in trouble with 4 personals. As Campbell Johnson goes to the line to shoot 2 once again. First one drops. And a lot you have to think about could be discussed here on the next stoppage in these huddles at this point.
And I'm surprised that we haven't had more timeouts in this game with
Yeah.
the way the tempo it's going.
Especially here's the example. Niagara pushing the tempo like this and then steals right on back. Here comes English. To Campbell Johnson off the bounce, yes! Campbell Johnson with 30 this game. Slowing it back on down is Harrison. Taylor Hands it back on off. Russo. Russo to the cut. Russo with contested traffic behind. Yes.
Good move to show and go there at the top of the key to get to the basket.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Watt drives into her own player. She took a shoulder from Campbell Johnson. Obviously back the other way, but I don't think I've seen that before.
No, that was, looks like it shook her up a little bit, but it looks like she's good to go.
So, Niagara will look to try and put back-to-back buckets in. English, defense, drive, Harrison bounce. Harrison coming to spark plug this quarter, now has 14 this game.
Harrison likes to get to the, use that left hand to get into the key and do that mini hook shot.
So far, 9 points for her this quarter alone. Under 90 seconds to go in the third. Back along the drive for the mid-range, no. Rebound again inside and immediately drawing the reach. And that is the fourth foul for Humber in the quarter as a team. A lot of communication back and forth after the whistle. That was Danielle Romani. As back coming on in is Baptiste from that. Coming also back on in is Sapna Dio, who was quietly in the game for a bit from Kelowna, BC. 71-49, 3 fouls, or rather 3 timeouts for both sides. Niagara trips down, keeps it alive, and the ball bounces off the scores table to the other way. And you just can tell how much the communication's coming in from Coach Rayo at this point.
Yeah, he's trying to keep it going and keep the team up-tempo. And like we talked about earlier today, both these teams have something to play for tomorrow. So you still want to keep your team composed and focused for the task at hand.
Sizing things on up. Wylagan no good. That time Niagara just avoiding the reach around. Taylor on the rebound. Moved over to Taylor. Moving left. Spinning right. Taylor too short. Gets her own miss. The putback also too short. Here comes Humber. Chance for a 2-for-1 opportunity. Baptiste moves it on out. There goes that window of opportunity. 10-second difference, shot clock and game clock. Wylagan, the give and go. The quick 3, no. Shot clock off. Niagara with a chance for the final shot of the quarter and a reach. That may have hit the side of her face. Wylagan called for the personal, and that will put Humber over the limit. So to the stripe will go Niagara here. That gives Humber the chance for the final shot now, but a chance for Niagara at least to trim the gap down to with a more in reach 20. As the first one misses, at this point, what would you adjust as a coach?
We'll see what happens, for this 14.6 seconds. Is Niagara going to show a little press to slow the ball down?
Yeah.
Looks like they are a little bit.
A little bit, yes. There's that soft pressure you mentioned. 10 seconds left in this quarter. Sizing up is Dio. Outside, the pass, English. 3 seconds in the quarter, no good. And Niagara will just dribble it on out after 3 quarters of play. The lead is still 21 for Humber as they continue their undefeated season into the 4th quarter of play. You're watching We Digital for OCAA Women's Basketball Championship 4 coverage, the second of 2 semifinals.
Did you know that the most severe injuries in our region are motor vehicle crashes? 65% of road fatalities last year were directly the result of distracted driving. 90% of injuries arriving in our emergency rooms are preventable. Our message to you this summer is put down the phone. Just drive. Let's work together to keep our trauma stretchers empty.
Good evening, sir. Where are you coming from?
I was just at a buddy's watching a game.
Have you consumed any alcohol tonight?
I had a couple beers.
Thanks. Can I ask you to step out of the vehicle, please?
How many drinks does it take to impair your ability to drive safely? Having even just a few casual drinks can impair your driving ability to the point that you could lose your license for at least 3 days or more.
Hi, honey. Can you come pick me up?
Play it safe with alcohol. If you plan on drinking, don't plan on driving.
So far, those Humber Hawks and that logo, they've been soaring and soaring forward. They have been all night. 71-50 the score after 3 quarters of play. Justin Prince, Jimmy Parsons with you. Fourth quarter of play getting underway in just a few moments. Your thoughts as we get ready for the fourth quarter of play?
Just Humber's defense has been excellent out there. So they have to keep that going, that defensive tempo. As I said earlier, there's something to play for both teams tomorrow. On the other hand, Niagara has 15 offensive boards to 7 for Humber. So they've more than doubled what Humber has for the offensive boards, but they're not capitalizing by putting it back in the basket.
How critical has it been? 5 second chance points. They've been outscored on second chance points despite having more offensive rebounds, more than almost double. We're underway for the start of the fourth quarter of play. 71-50 the score. Niagara with the ball to start things off. 17 still on the shot clock to work with for Russo. Russo looking to find some space, gets the screen for the pick and roll. The pass, Bosma, good from under the cup.
And I know Coach Rayo's talking about chipping away at this lead. Get it within 10 points if they can with 4 or 5 minutes to go, and then see what happens.
English, meanwhile, gets the bucket down low in kind.
And on the flip side, you have Coach Sharma, who's like getting this up to 25-30 with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
You know, both teams will still get the defensive intensity.
Remember, Humber won the bronze the last time term was held. That one blocked. Here comes Campbell Johnson. Outside wide leg, and again, 3. Way short. Hawks 4 consecutive goals from 2014 to 18. Niagara, no good from 2 feet.
Easy baskets. That's what's killed Niagara tonight.
Just past 1 minute into the fourth quarter here on We Digital. Justin Prince, Jimmy Parsons with you. 73-52 the score. Humber continuing to Euro step their way to the cup. Want with 15 this game now. 60% for the field as well. Nearly stolen away again. Reaching instead, triggered. Baptiste is now in foul trouble the rest of the way with that. Baptiste draws what will be her 4th. Just looking towards the stat lines, too, you've noticed one major thing for the shooting percentage for the game. There's about a 13 percentage point difference. Humber, Niagara still.
And when you work out those percentages, as I've been alluding to the whole game, is the offensive rebounds.
Yes.
If they hit those offensive boards, these percentages are close, if not favor Niagara.
Yeah.
Which would definitely be different on the scoreboard.
Jumper good, meanwhile. Harrison, she's been one of the bright spots now this second half. 16 points. Most of those points have now come in the second half. 21 points up still are the Hawks. Outside Campbell Johnson, the jumper. Can't get the lucky bounce this time. Rebound picked up again by Humber. Pass back out with a fresh 14 for English. English gets it off to Campbell Johnson. She goes to work. Guarded by Molly Taylor, no. Ripped down with the one hand for the rebound. Here comes Niagara pushing the tempo a touch. Bosma. Bounce pass around the outside. Moved around for Taylor. Taylor mid-range jump shot off the top of the backboard and misses. English trying to take advantage on back on the court up. They get the call to slow it on down here with this advantage. Give and go again. English into the defense. No good again. Bosma again the rebound. Niagara again starting to push things up quicker. Quicker and quicker each possession now. Harrison called for the travel and back the other way.
That little extra step there caused the travel, and over to Humber it goes.
More substitutions coming in. Coming on out. Coming on in amongst those substitutions as well. Niagara bringing a couple players in. Coming in is on Hattie again. Mitchell amongst those back on the floor as well. English looking around. Passes it away. Now the drive. Baseline underneath. Lands instead into the hands of two different Knights. Moved off to Russo. Slowed down under 7 minutes to play in the fourth. The cut inside. Mitchell. Mitchell with the right hand. Bounces it again.
Good drive to the basket by Mitchell, and nice finish.
This is one of the smallest gaps it's been in a while. 19 points. This was around that mark of the teeter-totter. We were discussing early in the third quarter. Humber looking to prevent the teeter-totter from becoming a formation. Outside, English, three, back rim, no. Niagara looking to still chip away. Down low, the pass. With a double team, moved away, rejected, Campbell Johnson. English passed off to the corner. The baseline off to Campbell Johnson again for the fadeaway, off the back rim again. Another rebound picked up Niagara.
Some fast-paced play here by both teams. It's good to see that they're still both going at it on the defensive end.
Especially Niagara right now trying to keep that tempo higher up. Taylor, left hand hook, gets it again. Timeout called, Humber.
Taylor again keeping him in the game. Like, she's not giving up, and it's good to see Niagara still fighting away here.
And the first-year player for Niagara Falls, a big part of this third and fourth quarter. 8 points now for her. Goes up a bit more. Let's take a look at how things are for the men's side over at Humber's campus. Right now, St. Clair is up by more than 20.
That's good to see for St. Clair College and the men's program. The good thing is that looks like Humber beat Lambton earlier in the first game. Yeah. So Humber is moving on, and it's vice versa here. St. Clair men are playing right now, and Humber women are playing. So we could have an all Humber St. Clair matchup, but the unique thing is that Humber will be hosting St. Clair for the men, and St. Clair will be hosting Humber for the women.
Funny how things work, right?
That is true.
Taking a look at the Niagara huddle.
Now, I know Coach Rayos is talking, just Rayo, keep going, keep working, keep fighting. And again, like I said earlier, they still have something to play for tomorrow, so you don't want to give up, and you want to make sure you stay focused in this OCAA championship.
Comeback chances are still well alive. There's still 5:38 to work with in the fourth quarter of play. Humber at times this quarter's been called as Humber being given some warnings here as both teams not setting up here. Humber now inbounds it. Niagara now bringing in that trap. Looking to bring the pressure. English breaks through it, some of it. Passed off towards Watt. Watt moves it around back outside. Pass down the baseline out of bounds. Stepping on it is Romani. And Niagara getting the most pumped up on the bench side from the player's side in a while.
Now you see Humber putting up a loose press, but Niagara is able to break it.
Niagara is able to just drive right past it to draw 2 free throws. The press was at the other end of the floor. Campbell Johnson called for a second. And you see the contact that brings Holting to the stripe. Free throws off and on for Niagara tonight. First one no good yet again. Holtink, a 48.6% shooter in the regular season in 2022 play. Misses both. Rebound, Campbell Johnson. Should be surprised at this point, Campbell Johnson amongst that double-double club. But the rebounds piling in. Narrow whistle. Off the ball, defensive foul. Amongst those in the vicinity, real many. Again, whistle going against Niagara for their first of the quarter. Jackson called for it. Jackson tries to guard up Watt. Watt loses the ball. And back the other way as Humber starting to show some cracks here.
Good D by Niagara. Let's see, Humber's going to throw a little press on. Let's see what happens with Niagara. Looks like they're going to break it again pretty easily.
Again, the pressure on the right side of the court. Niagara drives it up on the left side. Pass through traffic, out of bounds off of Humber.
17 left on the clock, shot clock for Niagara.
Still plenty of time to work with in turn as Baptiste comes back on in. Again, the defense been huge now for Niagara this quarter. Down low in the post, the hook, it's good again! Down to a 15-point Humber lead. Soft press comes up, backs off. Baptiste tries to size up, passes back out. Wylagan moved around to Watt. Watt gets the screen. Campbell Johnson. Campbell Johnson. Pick and roll. Contested, no good. Humber going ice cold. Slow back down for Mitchell. Off to Russo. Screen set by Bosma. Russo throws it up. No good. Bosma's second chance. 7 still on the shot clock. Bosma gets the roll again. And the run continues for Niagara. Humber trying to break the run. Baptiste no good from point-blank range. Here comes Niagara. Pressure at half court. Trying to find space inside. Back out to Mitchell for three. Off the front of the rim.
Looks like Humber is gassed a little bit. They need a little bit of a break. And Niagara is pumped up on D.
And a hand reach there. A slap on the wrist. Draws the reach. More substitution. Bosma comes out. Jackson called for a second personal in that. 14 still on the shot clock. 3:34 to go. Niagara the closest they've been now in this one in a while. Campbell Johnson to switch that back. No. Another rebound. Here comes Harrison. Moved up over to Mitchell. To Harrison. Open three. No bounce. Rebound again, English inside the traffic. Sizing back. No good on the jumper yet again. Humber has not made many shots these past 3 minutes.
Niagara needs to put something together offensively and then chip away at stoppages. So if they can get a score here.
Moved up for the jumper, it's good! Harrison again! Harrison's got 18 this game. Soft pressure for the Knights. Watt, coast to coast, contact to the line to shoot two. And that may stop the run. And that goes against Holtink. She is done. She's got 5 this game. Taylor comes back in. So it will be Watt to the stripe. She's got 15 points so far tonight. 3 for 3, entering the 4. 4 for 4 now at the stripe. Second one. Doesn't drop. Chased down by Taylor, stripped back and thrown away by Humber. Another substitution coming back on in for Niagara. This time it's Bell. That gives a breather now for Jackson. 2:38 to go.
Humber is putting a press on right now. See if Niagara can get the ball to the middle and move it up the floor.
A rare hard press this time from Humber. Taylor goes for the mid-range. Can't get the bounce. Gets her on this. Drives it in. Again good. It's back down to 10.
That was another offensive board by Niagara. They're doing a great job on the offensive board still.
2:08 to go in the fourth. Watt steps it back. Watt steps it forward. Off to Campbell Johnson. Nearly loses the ball. Nearly lost it again. Watt for three at the shot clock. No. Russo again on the rebound. Under 2 minutes to go. Open for three. Yes, she's got it. Timeout. Humber.
Niagara cuts this down.
Niagara was trailing by as much as 26 points. It's down to 7.
And in transition, Niagara's just turned it on, and we've been harping the whole time. We've been harping the whole time about the offensive boards, and now they're starting to make them, and it shows.
And time is of the essence. Niagara trying to sort things out. Look at the quick stats. That bench difference is huge. Niagara's had the stronger bench all night, especially with Taylor.
And then you look at second chance points. Now Niagara is ahead by 1, and that's because of all the offensive boards. The only thing Niagara needs to do is stop is the fast break points. But on the flip side for Humber, they're still in the lead here. They're still ahead. They have control. But this has become a good game now.
Can Niagara complete the comeback? Can Humber prevent the collapse? You can cut the tension with a butter knife. 1 minute, 48 seconds to go in regulation. Niagara with an unbelievable fourth quarter comeback in the span of about 3 minutes. 1 timeout remaining, Humber, 2 for Niagara. Hawks with the ball. English, smothered, loses her defender. Watt can't take advantage of it. Steps through 3 defenders, gets the roll.
Looks like Humber's going to put their D back to a half-court set, half-court man.
Wide open again, nearly for 3, doesn't take it. Pass across. Pump down the baseline. Looking to pass it back out. Russo, the pass for 3. Again.
That's it.
Gets the bounce. Harrison. Full court pressure. Niagara called for the whistle. That was their foul to give. Next one draws them over the limit.
Yeah, we're just looking up at the clock. The score was on the wrong side, so it's fixed now. 6-point game here. 1:15 to go.
Mitchell right there for her second personal. Humber inbounds it. Campbell Johnson avoids the double. Niagara backs it off to their set. Niagara already wants a time ready. Watt tries to drive it in to Campbell Johnson. Jumper, front rim, no good. Tapped out of bounds. Humber ball.
Niagara, this is key for Niagara to make sure that they stop this with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
And Coach Rayo on the edge of his seat at the edge of the sideline. Campbell Johnson, front run again. Under a minute to play. Here comes Niagara. Russo to Taylor. Space. Jumper over Campbell Johnson. Can't get it. Second chance Niagara. Puts it back. And again, 4-point game. Here comes Niagara back for the defense. 35 seconds to work with. Watt stripped away. A chance to bring to a one-possession game. The drive, too strong. Rebounded by English. Picked up by Baptiste. Niagara wants the foul. They strip it instead. Dive back by Baptiste. Down the side. Multiple players jump on it. Jump ball called. Possession arrow Humber. 12 seconds remaining.
What a sequence there. Both teams going at it. That was great to see.
Expect the possible foul right here. If they can't force this turnover. Goes to Watt. Now there's the reach. There it is by Jackson, her third. And you have to say, Campbell Johnson, stellar game for Humber's side.
Absolutely, 30 points. She is our player of the game tonight.
Yeah.
Congrats to her. There's still a lot can happen in 10.5, let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Give credit to Harrison. I put her as the candidate for Niagara's player of the game for this comeback attempt.
Absolutely. Niagara had a great comeback, and there's still some time left, so we'll see what's cooking. I assume Coach called timeout and to advance the ball.
First of two. Good. Signal already given in by Niagara. And a clarification being made at the scores table here before the second attempt. They will confirm the one is ready to go. Watt to extend the lead to 6. Makes it. Timeout Niagara. That's their second to give. One timeout remaining for the Niagara Knights in this one.
Yeah, you know what? There's 10.5 left, so Coach Rayo is going to talk about getting an inbounds play here. He's going to give the girls 2 options. The first option, probably for a 3 to see what they could do. Everybody's got to crash the boards, and we know what happened today. Today for Niagara, it's been all offensive rebounds. Now this is where they got to turn it around and possibly get a rebound, offensive board, and get an and one to get on the foul line. So that's your 3 points there. You throw a press on, you never know what could happen.
And that's been the tough thing. Box outs have been huge all night for Humber with the offensive rebounds allowed all night. You can see what they're trying to adjust defensively.
Yeah, and you know what? On the Coach Sharma, on the Humber side, don't count out him putting Niagara on the line.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that there are no opportunities for 3-point plays. So that's always in the back pocket of a coach. You always want to have plan A and plan B and sometimes C. And I think right now Coach Reyes has to talk about plan C.
And keep in mind when it comes to the free throw situation, Humber has several fouls to give.
That is true.
So Niagara inbounds, this time from the grandstand side. 10.5 seconds to go in regulation. Russo has to get a shot off. Running out of time. Pass to the outside, intercepted, but out of bounds, and that may do it.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a double screen down low, but it didn't happen.
What a comeback for Niagara regardless, being down by as much as 26. Inbound in for the mid-range jump shot, doesn't bounce, but Humber survives to win 80-74 the final.
And to send it off, Campbell Johnson gets that rebound to close it out.
And Humber has a chance to add to their legacy of gold medals. They have had a stellar reputation under Coach Sharma. 4 times in a row they won in the mid-2010s. They have a chance to begin the 2020s with a bronze and possibly a gold tomorrow. Niagara will battle for what would be their second bronze medal under the Coach Rayo era. Post-game coverage coming up, including with player of the game with Dominic Pompo. Right after this, you're watching We Digital from Windsor.
My name is Nicole Pekala. Before I was in the welding program, I was a pet nutritionist at a pet shop for about 3 years. You'll be surprised how great it is to be a woman in the trades. because it's such a welcoming community. Every woman that I've met that's in the trades program or has studied within the trades is just so happy to be in it, and why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that everybody else is enjoying and loving themselves?
RRSPs are a great start, but when you have a comprehensive plan that covers all of your life, you get a more sound, fulfilling retirement. Let us help get more out of your money so you can get more out of life. Investors Group. Invest in life.
Women's basketball Final Four, semifinal number 2 just completed. No shortage of excitement, that's for sure. The Humber Hawks prevail as they defeat the Niagara Knights 80-74. Coach Ajay Sharma of the Hawks joins us. Thanks for doing this with us, Coach. And I'm sure you're going to look at the game and pick it apart, but just your quick impression of what you saw out there.
Yeah, I think we were in it was one of those situations where we had a lead, and a good lead, but I didn't think we were particularly playing well. And I was concerned with that, and I, impressed on the team at halftime is like, it's more important to play better. Like, the lead is great. Let's use it to our advantage, but let's play better. And my fear was that they were going to start to play better, and if our level stayed the same, this was going to be a game, and they made it a game. And much credit to Christopher Rayo, Coach of the Year. He found a way to get his kids back in the game, and they made it interesting at the end.
How do you work with that now, Coach, as you go into the gold medal game? Obviously, you won't need to remind them what happened here. It's got to be 40 minutes or the results aren't going to be there.
Yeah, I think it's a fine line. We want to talk about some of this stuff, but we also want to be positive and get them thinking forward, right? I mean, sometimes at this time of year, it's all about surviving and getting through.
I asked your star player at halftime about the Humber reputation. This program is one of the solid programs in not only the province but the country. How tough is it to maintain that level of play and know that every team that you play wants to give you their best because they're playing Humber?
It's totally not totally. It is it's difficult. I mean, there's a lot of hours that are put into this from a recruiting standpoint, from a skill development standpoint, from just overall making sure that the athlete's having a good experience as a Humber College athlete. And then your question about, well, when we get everybody's best game, it's a double-edged sword. It's no night off, but at the same time, it helps us get better if we can survive all of that turmoil and adversity.
You're back to the gold medal game. You haven't been there for the last couple times. I was just looking at it and wow, this is a little bit strange, but just the same, you had a nice run in the mid section in the teens. Getting back to a chance to win the gold medal has to be gratifying.
It is. It's always special when you can end your season or continue your season and have a chance to win a gold medal. And we see St. Clair, and they're going to be tough. They're always tough. They've got a great roster, and Andy does a great job. So we got some work to do.
Obviously, this is a repeat of your matchup with them in the 2020 championship, where they beat you, went on to play in the gold medal game. Any of that come into play here, Coach?
I don't think so. I think both teams have a different roster. I mean, they've got obviously their main players are back, and some of our main players are back. So yeah, there's some familiarity there, but they're also playing with newer players, and so are we. And we've got to get to know each other pretty quickly before tomorrow.
It's going to be a fun one, Coach. Congrats on the win. Get some rest, and look forward to a great game tomorrow.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ajay Sharma, the outstanding coach of the Humber Hawks, helping us out here in our post-game report. Let me get you updated quickly with some of the scores from out of town. The men's team, we've been following that that being played at Humber. And good news for St. Clair fans in the men's game. The Saints were victorious tonight. Stuart, you're going to get it up for me. I know you're going to take good care of me. Thanks, Coach. The men here, you can see a couple of the scores. The Humber Hawks men also advancing to the gold medal game. They defeat the Lambton Lions. And then the other game that we watch closely here, good news for the Saints as they defeat the Redeemer Royals 92-71. So it'll be the same matchup in the men's gold medal game as we have here in Windsor with the ladies. Speaking of the ladies, here's our schedule for tomorrow. 2 more games to close out the year. The bronze medal game. There you go. The bronze medal game. The Algonquin Wolves will take on the Niagara Knights. Tip time is at 5 p.m. Of course, we'll have that live for you here on We Digital Productions. And then that'll be followed up with a 7:30 tip between the Humber Hawks and the St. Clair College Saints. Should be a fun evening of collegiate basketball here on We Digital. So that's the story here tonight. The Saints and the Hawks advance to the gold medal game. We hope you can join us for that. The Hawks victorious here in the nightcap, winning 80-74 over the Niagara Knights. On behalf of everybody here at We Digital Productions, this is Dominic Papa thanking you for tuning in. Stay safe, everybody, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow night. Take care.